Hello, this is Clay with thejapanshop.com, and today we have another Shinchan manga walkthrough, where we go through a funny Shinchan manga. Before we get started, let's listen to Yumi read this, and then when we come back, don't worry if you don't understand much. We'll go through this line by line and explain it thoroughly. Go ahead, Yumi.
無敵のしんちゃん、不敵に笑う。うわっはっはっはっは編。その9。アクションデパート。今日はバーゲンだから混んでる。迷子にならないでよ。私のセリフじゃん。ほら、しっかりついといで。よそみよそみ、キョロキョロ、どやどや。あら、なんだい坊や。オラを誘拐する気だな。そっちが勝手についてきたんでしょうが、ざわざわひそひそ。サービスカウンター。迷子ですか？ではこちらでお預かりします。やれやれとんだ迷惑だ。俺のセリフだ。
So, how did you do? Don't worry if you didn't understand much. We will go through every word, but let's get started with the title. Muteki no Shinchan, Futeki ni Warao. Every Shinchan manga starts with this header, with some kind of a weird, fun, or interesting phrase. It really has nothing to do with the actual contents of the manga itself, but it's a fun word play. These two words here, muteki and futeki, and they both have a negating kanji to start with, mu and fu. The teki is the same, and teki means enemy. So you would think, well, what's the difference between muteki and futeki? And that's a good question. You should be observing these connections and try to find these connections in your language studies. It will help you learn more vocabulary and improve your Japanese overall. The mu here is non-existent. It doesn't exist. The fu also is a negation, but it's a little bit different. It shows a deficiency or a shortfall of quality. So muteki means enemies do not exist, and that means invincible. So muteki no Shinchan means the invincible Shinchan. Futeki, on the other hand, means daring or fearless. And unlike muteki, which is more external, futeki is more internal and shows courage and fearlessness. Futeki ni warao. The ni turns the futeki into an adverb, which modifies warao. So futeki ni fearlessly. Remember, adverbs usually have that li at the end. Fearlessly warao. Warao means to laugh or to smile. But you could translate this as Shinchan, who is invincible, fearlessly laughs or fearlessly smiles. This is a fun wordplay, and although this doesn't have much to do with the actual manga itself, it's an interesting thing to look at. We have this sort of thing in English as well. For example, if you have a case, a court case, you want to have a disinterested judge, but not an uninterested judge. Both dis and un are a type of negation, but uninterested means your case is boring, but disinterested means that the judge is judging impartially. He's looking at it without being overly interested in one side or the other. Another example would be invaluable versus valueless. Both less and in kind of negates it, but invaluable means there's no way to put a value on it because it's priceless. But valueless means it has no value. Anyway, the next line is simply laughing. Wah ha 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 ha. Hen is a chapter or a series within the manga. And sono means part. It literally means that, but when it's used to separate parts of a chapter or parts of a grouping, it means part. So part 9. Now let's actually get started in the manga. So we open with the first panel. Manga reads from top to bottom, from right to left. And so we're starting here. This is the first panel. And we see this building, and it says Action Departo. Action Departo is the name of the department store. that Shinchan's mother is going to. Now, action, it's a placeholder name for companies in the Shinchan world. It's kind of like the Acme companies in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. So Action Department Store is the name of the department store. So that just sets the setting. It tells us where we are. And his mother says, 今日はバーゲンだから混んでる。混んでる. The 今日は, kyo means today. Wa is the topic particle. So it sets kyo as the topic of the sentence. As for today, bargain is bargain. And Shinchan's mother loves bargains and sales. Dakara, because of that. So because today is a bargain, konderu, konderu. Because today is a bargain, it's busy, konderu. Konderu is the te-iru form of komu, which means to be crowded. The te-iru shows a progression or an ongoing state, but this is the casual form, so the i is dropped. Instead of konde-iru, it becomes konderu. There is a small u afterwards, and that just shows her emotion, or she's, making it a little bit longer. Konderu. It's kind of like she's impressed how crowded it is. Doya, doya. Doya, doya is the effect of lots of people's footsteps. It's a very crowded situation. It's noisy. It's boisterous. It's a crowd of people. This is one of the main problems with translating manga into English. You will see several other these onomatopoeic expressions that you really just can't express in English well. And the more you learn about this, the more manga you read, and the more enjoyable it becomes, because you're not just reading words, silent words on a page. You're actually putting all the senses to work in your brain. The sounds of the footsteps, the people murmuring, the movement, and all that is going on. It's boisterous. Because it's a bargain today, it's busy. And then Shinchan is pulling on his mother's coat, and he says, Maigo ni naranai de yo. Maigo means lost or lost child. Ni naranai de is the negative form of ni naru, which means to become. So maigo ni naru means to become lost. Maigo ni naranai, to not become lost. And then when you have the de, maigo ni naranai de, it becomes a command, a negative command. Don't do this. Maigo ni naranai de yo. Yo is there for emphasis. Of course, this isn't what Shinchan should be saying. This is what his mother should be saying. But he always mixes things up, which is one of the charming aspects of the Shinchan series. He doesn't sound like a 5-year-old, but he mimics the adults around him, often making mistakes. But the good thing is, he's usually corrected by his parents or by his friends even. Watashi means I or me. No is a possessive marker, but you think of watashi no as one word means my. So I, possessive, becomes my. Watashi no mai, serufu. Serufu is used for lines in a movie, or lines that you should say from a transcript or something like that. This phrase, though, watashi no serufu ja, or watashi no serufu da, is often used, especially in Shinchan, where he says something that's wrong, or actually someone else should be saying, as in this case, and then the adult replies, that's my line. That's what I should be saying. Why are you saying that? I should be saying that. Watashi no serufu ja. Then she says, hora. Hora is used for getting someone's attention. Shikkari. Shikkari. Be careful with the small tsu. Make sure you have that space in between. Shi, and then get your mouth in position for the ka. Shikkari. And then let it go. Shikkari means firmly or completely. Tsuitoide is a combination of two words, tsuite and oide. And you put them together and it becomes to follow or to stick together. And oide is the imperative form of kuru, to come. So it's saying come. Tsuku means to stick, and oide means to come. So stick, stay close and follow me. But yosomi, kyoro. Yoso means elsewhere. Mi means to look. So looking elsewhere. It's kind of a descriptive sound or action word. Kyoro is the effect of his eyes restlessly looking around. He's looking at all these sights. His eyes are darting around. He's distracted. And the doya is what we saw up here, which indicates the sound of a lot of bustling activity, the sounds of feet hitting the ground. And then he looks up and he realizes, oh, it's not his mother that he's holding on to. Ara? What? This is an explanation of surprise. He's showing a sign of surprise. Nanda? It's a hesitation, or he's surprised and he's trying to say, what is going on, little boy? Nandai is the casual form of nanda, which is colloquial. The I is added for softening. Nandai, boya. Boya is a word that means lad or boy. It's used to address a young boy casually. Orao sets himself as the direct object of yukai, suru. Ora is a very casual or colloquial form of I. And as I mentioned, the wo sets this as a direct object of yukai, which means to kidnap. Suruki means to show a desire or intention. To yukai, to abduct. Ora, mi. Da is the copula, and na is for emphasis. It adds a kind of accusatory tone. Aren't you trying to abduct me or to kidnap me? Of course, poor guy, he's an innocent bystander. That you, it's referring to you there, but sochi puts a little distance between the two. Ga sets this as the subject marker of this phrase. So he's saying you, katteni. Katteni is selfishly, or you didn't receive my permission to do this. Tsuite kita means to follow or to come along. It's the te form of tsuku and kita, to come. So you attached or followed and you came. It's a motion towards me. Tsuite kita. You came and followed me. The is used for explanations. Desho, didn't you? This ga is a very interesting ga. This is not the subject marker, nor does it mean the but or however ga, but it's used to show frustration at the end. He's trying to explain that he's innocent and he's frustrated, but he's also accusing Shinchan of doing this because that's exactly what Shinchan did. And he's exasperated. That's kind of what it all means. It's like saying desho ga means, come on, man. You came along without my permission. You just showed up. But there's a lot of people that are watching the scene. Zawa, zawa, hiso, hiso. Zawa, zawa is murmuring, and kind of people are talking around him. Zawa, zawa, zawa. It's a restless crowd. And hiso, hiso is a whispering effect. If you think about the feeling behind these, zawa, zawa is much more of a strong z voiced sound. But hiso, hiso is softer, it's quieter, it's whispering. So they're just overall a murmuring crowd, but the individual people are whispering like, this guy's is bad guy, isn't it? And then service counter, the service counter. And this is where they go to deposit lost children so that the service counter can call and find the parents. Maigo desu ka? Are you lost? Dewa. Well then, kochira de, over here, o azukari shimasu. This is a polite way to say, I will take care of you, or I'll handle it from here. Azukaru means to take into custody, to hold on to. I'll take the child here. The wo shimasu form, the wo and then shimasu form with the verb in the masu stem form. So azukarimasu, you take the mas off, it becomes azukari. O azukari shimasu. is a very polite way to say, I will take him from here. I will take him into my care. And Shinchan says, yare yare, tonda, meiwaku da. Yare yare means good grief. It's an interjection to show exasperation. And tonda means it's unexpected or it's outrageous. Meiwaku, trouble that we have caused, that this old man has caused. I doubt that he's admitting that he's caused his own trouble. But meiwaku means inconvenience or trouble that they're causing to someone. So this has become an outrageous example of inconvenience to others. Previously, his mother said, watashi no serifu ja. That's my line. Ore no serifu da. It repeats here too. That's my line. I should be saying that. So I hope that made some sense. Listen to Yumi one more time. Then leave your questions in the comments below. And if I made any mistakes or if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. So go Yumi!
無敵のしんちゃん、不敵に笑う。うわっはっはっはっは編。その9。アクションデパート。今日はバーゲンだから混んでる。迷子にならないでよ。私のセリフじゃん。ほら、しっかりついといで。よそみよそみ、キョロキョロ、どやどや。あら、なんだい坊や。オラを誘拐する気だな。そっちが勝手についてきたんでしょうが、ざわざわひそひそ。サービスカウンター。迷子ですか？ではこちらでお預かりします。やれやれ、とんだ迷惑だ。俺のセリフだ。チャンネル登録してね。